for 605. We're visiting with Jeremy Kieso, grade 5 state referee for South Dakota, and we're catching up with you again in another indoor tournament, Jeremy.
Yes, one of many to come.
Well, and last time we talked to you was at Dakota Alliance Winter Tournament, and you were getting ready to head to the Developmental Academy in Florida. How did that go for you?
It was outstanding. There was, as anticipated, great teams, great referees, excellent feedback from some guys around the country that know their stuff for sure.
So who are some of the referees that you had a chance to get feedback from, and tell us, because most players and coaches may not know who the referees are.
Sure. A lot of the referees that I got to work with were either national candidates, new national referees, also referees that are, grade 5, just like Lauren and myself. And a lot of the guys from Florida that we got to work with that kind of get pushed through the ringer down there. But they had some Nike International friendlies also that we got to watch, the Platinum Academy referees. And those are kind of the pool of referees that they're pushing through the program, and they get to see a lot of field time and a lot of high-level matches. So.
And those are the referees that we may one day see in a FIFA World Cup match?
Yeah, possibly. They're the next ones, with all the intentions of going pro, getting their FIFA badges, stuff like that, yeah.
Well, Jeremy, in South Dakota, sometimes we get the impression that people don't take our soccer seriously because our numbers are smaller, we're not seen and as visible. What's your experience been like as a referee out in the bigger soccer arena?
It's definitely changed. A year ago even, year or 2 years ago, we still had that perception that, South Dakota was developing, we're a little further behind, still progressing, but after this last year, the success that Lauren and Kevin and myself have had, it's definitely changed the perception of South Dakota referees. We still have a long way to go, but we have a lot more respect, I think, than we used to, which is really nice. You can referee a match with a little less pressure than than having to overcome that boundary also.
Just go out and ref your game, right?
Absolutely, yep, and know that you're going to get the full support from your entire crew.
So what's some of the type of feedback that you get in an event like that you may not get from a regular assessment here in South Dakota?
The great thing about those events is you're hearing it directly from the people who are making the decisions. So a lot of times at the local level, you have to wait for it to trickle down, and at that point it's maybe too late, whereas you're hearing directly from the decision makers and from the top.
Well, and I think a lot of people probably don't realize that the FIFA laws don't change, but just as with the Supreme Court, at the top of the referee chain, we have people that are interpreting those laws, and they put out official written decisions, right?
Yeah, yep, and they modify, how they want you to call certain things, offside, things like that. But yeah, it just how they want you to interpret it, exactly.
What are some of the things, Jeremy, that we're seeing differently in terms of those decisions and interpretations?
It all kind of changes on, what they've seen in that last year, I think, how have referees been handling certain situations. The big thing the last year or two has been concussions, and how are referees dealing with concussions and the protocol for that whole situation. Just to look out for, it's always the most important thing, the safety of the players. And so really pushing that and figuring out how to handle that situation.
And that's always good to hear, because safety must come first. Well, I know last World Cup, one of the things that they were talking about that was going to be a change was more attention focused on diving and the lack of appreciation for the acting skills of some countries. So are you hearing anything out there that they're going to be looking at for the World Cup this year?
I haven't heard anything specifically, but the diving, embellishing thing, the referees are starting to get a grasp of it and starting to be able to pick out the real from that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's always fun for a referee and for the crowd.
Yeah. It's the wrong area. I need to go into acting rather than playing, right?
Well, if you can combine them both, I guess.
Yep.
So, Jeremy, you've obviously have reffed in some high-level events around the country now, and you've seen a lot of high-level competition. How do you feel the competition in South Dakota is on that measuring stick compared to when you first started going out there?
You know, the level of play in South Dakota has come a long way, even from, when I was growing up. We've seen some club teams go to some national events. We've seen a club team go and win a national event. So just knowing that they can compete with other teams around the country is awesome. Now, obviously, the level of play that I've seen, you got guys that are literally playing 5, 6, 7 days a week, year-round, nice weather, so they're always keeping in touch on the ball. But it's just more experience. They have more opportunities than we do here, and that's what we've seen as referees too, that to get the opportunities that these other referees have, we have to travel a lot more. So,
well, it's good to see both from your perspective as a referee in the referee field that South Dakota is getting greater recognition and respect, and that our teams are starting to get that. So maybe it's time we went ahead and knocked that chip off our shoulder. What do you say?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Jeremy, for visiting with us. I know you got a game to ref here. Best of luck the rest of the tournament, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Carol.